Okay, so got the warm up set here. The real quick, we'll go through just kind of the rundown for the week here. Remember, we're doing 2 days of work in a day, although it's over 2 days. So you either do it Thursday or Friday, depending on what schedule you're on and so on. But so it's not any more work than normal. In fact, sometimes it might feel like less. But again, it'll be posted for you either Thursday or Friday. And then, again, next week it'll be Monday or Tuesday, depending on your class and schedule and such. Okay, so today we're looking at really just getting ready for the 2324 quiz. You'll have the review. I have the key for the review. I've got a video of me going over the review. Really, that should be your goal today, to kind of get through all that stuff, make sure you're feeling good on it all. And there's a Google Meet session if you want to hop in there and ask some questions if you got any. Again, those are optional. They just kind of give you a time where you can hop in and get live help from me if you want to. But they're not like mandatory attendance or anything like that. They're really just for if you feel like you need some help on the stuff, come in and ask questions, and I can go through some stuff, do some examples, do whatever you need there. So that should be pretty much it. We're looking at the quiz being Monday or Tuesday next week, depending which day you have class or whatever. But that'll be the 2324 quiz then. So one of the concepts we just did most recently was dividing complex numbers. So if you're doing this, you should pause it, see if you can figure this out, and then check and see if you got the same thing I end up getting here. So the process on this, you need to, instead of really doing the division, we multiply it by its conjugate. The conjugate of the denominator. So we're going to use 4 minus 5i over 4 minus 5i. Because we do the trick here where this is just 1. So we're multiplying this by 1. It's not going to change its value, but it is going to change how it looks. So really this turns into two kind of big distributive property problems. And as I work it out, I'm going to go ahead and write it down here. So in my numerator, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times the negative 5i is negative 10i. Negative 3i times 4 will be negative 12i. And this will be a plus 15i squared. Make sure you don't forget about those I squareds. They will be important in a second. Down here, 4 times 4 is 16. That'll be a minus 20i. And then we should get the matching, plus 20i here. We know those. Whole point of this is to get those to be able to cancel each other out. And then minus 25i squared over here. Okay, cool. So we got 4 total terms on the top and on the bottom. And now we just look to simplify it. So things you want to be aware of. I squareds are equivalent to negative 1s. So whenever you have those, that's the same thing as just having the number negative 1 right there. So let's go ahead and do our numerator first. We have an 8, and this is going to become a negative 15 because 15 times negative 1. So 8 minus 15 is actually a negative 7. Then combining your like terms here, negative 10 minus 12 more is minus 22i. Cool. Down here, we should always get opposites on our i's. That's the whole point of using the conjugate. That's sort of the special property that it has. But now we have 16, and this will be a plus 25 because that becomes the double negative there. So 16 plus 25 is 41. All right, at this point, we want to see if either of these can reduce. It's looking like neither of them do. I'm pretty sure 41's prime. But you do have, there's ways to reduce fractions. But really, 7 over 41, since that's not going to be divisible by 7, that can't go any further. You can type things like this in and do like math fraction. There's apps and, calculators that all have some sort of option like that. You can do the same thing with the other one if you want to double check. Sorry, it helps if you type in the right number, although I believe it's not going to reduce either way. So either way, neither fraction reduces. If they did, you'd go ahead and write the reduced form. But since they don't, the next step is just write it in that a plus bi form. So the real part would be the negative 7 over 41, and then we'd have minus the 22 over 41i. And so this is kind of the way you want to write the answer. We have the real and then the imaginary part written like so. And like I said, if you could have reduced them, if this was like 7 over 7, then this would just be a negative 1. So if it can reduce, you want to do that. But a lot of cases, they end up not reducing, or maybe just one of them does or whatever. All right. So again, one of the skills, but everything else, 2324, try it out on the review. And if you got questions, hop in the Google Meet. If you don't, watch the videos, make sure you're all good. And we'll be quizzing on Monday or Tuesday next week.